From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
It was actually really good. The people were nice. I mean, the service was good, and you would never have thought, that kind of stuff was going on.
Several new restaurants are popping up at the St. John's Town Center, and they're already having some issues passing inspections. 19 violations were uncovered at Red Robin, some that could cause foodborne illnesses.
And another letter sent home by the principal of Fruit Cove Middle School. Now, the tone is much more serious, saying there will be increased security presence today. This after a student's social media post threatening others. Monica Garcia will have those details, what the district has to say about it, in just 2 minutes. And now, across the nation, business, schools are observing Veterans Day, but they're doing it, although it's tomorrow, the observation today.
Yeah, tomorrow's the actual day. Today, though, all around our area and the city, folks are trying to do different things to thank our veterans for their service. We're going to have much more about this all throughout the newscast. But first, we've got to check in with our guy, our storm expert meteorologist, Mike Pranley, for a look at your weekend forecast. Let's see that.
Wearing the bow ties
Sharp
and really in honor of Ken Amaro. Okay, so we got the Ken Amaro Bow Tie Classic today out of Deer Creek. Benefiting the Northwest Behavioral Health Services. And yes, it's going to be a little cooler, but isn't it great to live here? Even after we get these strong cold fronts this time of year, we still have some good golf weather. But if you've been outside, what a change. 57 right now, Jacksonville to St. Augustine. And how about this, 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday. So back to some jacket weather. We look at radar. The rain is gone. We did have those showers and storms as expected yesterday, but the big story, a blast of winter. And if you're traveling today, especially north of Atlanta, Georgia, I mean, it could be a shocker with wind chills remaining in the 20s. It's the big Arctic blast. And what it means for us is we will have some December-like temperatures even here on the First Coast, okay? So we'll golf, but you'll need the jacket. 69 degrees, those cool breezes. We'll talk more about that nor'easter. It will send in another round of rain. I'll time that out for you, but first, let's get to Katie Jeffries, getting you ready on this Friday in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you so much, Mike. I hope you guys are having a great start to your morning. Let's take a look here. If you're driving in along 295, the Dames Point Bridge, things there actually look really nice. You're not seeing any delays on the Dames, the Buckman, so that is a great thing to look at. Let's take a look towards your traffic maps. I'm not seeing the fog this morning, so hey, that's like the first day this week I'm not seeing yellow all over the map. If you are traveling here along I-10 westbound near where it meets I-95, look out for an accident there, but no lanes blocked. It's just off to the side. Also, if you are traveling in on 95 northbound, just as you would pass Emerson, look out for 2 lanes there to be blocked. Also, the exits to the Main and the Acosta are blocked as well by that overnight construction, but usually they're good about picking it up by 5:30 in the morning, so I'll keep you updated, but I expect these lanes to reopen pretty soon. Back to you.
All right, Katie, thank you so much. All right, so last night, I'm sitting there trying to get to sleep. A concerned parent in St. Johns County sent me a text message which included a screen cap of a troubling post on social media. You know, nowadays, all kids have phones, have access to social media very easily, and perhaps they don't realize the consequences of their actions when they post something to social media. Well, this specific post actually became a security threat. It has a lot of parents concerned in the St. Johns County area this morning, right around Racetrack Road. Now, Monica Garcia is live for us there this morning. Exactly what was that post that was being shared, and is the district concerned at this point?
Well, there's a lot of concern, Lou, because, I mean, as you mentioned, it is a tight-knit community out here. So when a post like that goes out on social media, of course it scares parents as well as students. But I can tell you that the principal has since come out, principal of Fruit Cove Middle School, and she says there's no credible threat to it. But that just as a precaution, of course, because this gained so much traction overnight on social media, they are going to have extra security here at Fruit Cove Middle School today. Now, again, I want to take a closer look at that post. It all started with this picture uploaded to Instagram. So what it shows, it's a photo of a gun as well as ammo, and then it contains the text, "Don't come to school TM," which is for tomorrow, and that's today. So the school says that they know the student that has made this post, and they've also reached out to that student's family. And in the meantime, Principal Kelly Jacobson, she sent out this statement to us. It says, "No credible threat was discovered, and we're applying the proper consequences for this inappropriate post. In addition, as a precautionary measure, tomorrow we will have additional law enforcement on campus. So, of course, if your kid goes here to this school, just know that they do plan on taking that post seriously. And as a result, they're going to have additional law enforcement. And they also go on to say that they want parents to talk to their kids about posting responsibly on social media. Now, earlier this week, we were also out here at Fruit Cove Middle School. It just seems like it's been a week of drama for faculty as well as students here. And this is following the head coach to the football team here, the Fruit Cove Middle School football team. He resigned, as well as the assistant coach, in regards to allegations that they bullied the girls soccer team here. So just not the ideal week for Fruit Cove Middle School. But the good news is that post seems not to be an actual credible threat, and the principal says they are taking precautionary measures. From Fruit Cove Middle School, Monica Garcia, First Coast News, on your side.
Thanks for that, Monica. Well, 39-year-old Christopher Richard is behind bars this morning. He's facing 20 felony counts of child pornography possession. Investigators say numerous images and videos depicting sexual abuse of children were on his computer in his Ponte Vedra home. He's being held without bond, and more charges are pending.
City now looking to buy out homes in the South Shores area since it's prone to flooding. Talking about near the South Bank of downtown Jacksonville. Of course, some are considering taking the offer from the city because of the constant flooding, but others do not want to leave the place that they have lived for decades. Local and federal representatives say buying these properties will actually save FEMA relief money in the long run, spending it now up front. The funding would come from the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, and according to Jacksonville City Councilman Lori Boyer, skeptics are questioning whether the new district development is playing a part in this.
Where's that water going to go when it drains off the district?
I feel like they're sacrificing.
It's going to come down to us. It's going to come to the ones that are left.
Now, Ms. Boyer told us 73 South Shore homes are eligible. She denies the city having any plans to use the property that they would be acquiring.
Thanks for that, Lou. Well, the National Safety Council is hosting a memorial in Chicago to recognize those who have fallen victim to opioid addiction. Organizers say they want to give people a sense of urgency so they educate themselves about the epidemic and take action in their own lives. The council says it has found 1 in 3 Americans prescribed an opioid did not know what they were taking. Well, CTE, it affects many football players, we know, but can only be found, we know, after death. This morning, medical researchers say Aaron Hernandez, he suffered from the most severe CTE ever found in a person his age. The former Florida Gator had stage 3 CTE, which has never been seen in a brain younger than 46 years old. You remember he was found dead in his jail cell back in April while serving a life sentence. Well, we know that there's an iPhone glitch auto-correcting the letter I to an A and a big old box with a question mark on it. Well, Apple has released an update to fix that problem, but before the software release, singer John Mayer, he tweeted his own solution using Mario there. That's hilarious. But to get the actual update, you can just look in your settings. So it's finally being fixed, hopefully. So there's a new album out. Everyone is talking about this. People are already online right now. Taylor Swift, she is back. Her newest record called Reputation. To hear it, though, you'll have to buy it. Sorry, folks. It won't be streaming for at least a week. The move could help to boost sales. Her last 3 albums, they've sold more than 1 million copies in week 1. I know who will be running out to buy one today. Mr. Turner.
Oh boy, do you know my musical taste or what? I mean, 5:08 is your time. Today, the nation observing Veterans Day. Although it is tomorrow, today is the observance. And with that comes another greatest generation story. Hear about the African-American experience, World War II. That is at 5:15. We're right back after this.
Not a big Swift.
Oh, what a wonderful time of year. And this time of year brings out the Salvation Army, raising money to help feed the homeless and provide shelter. It all begins today. You're going to see them with the bells outside stores through Christmas Eve, of course. Katie.
Hey, good morning.
I've got the weather to get you in the holiday spirit, that's for sure.
It is. It's chilly outside. I love it.
It is. In fact, we're ready for a change, right? And what I love this time of year is it's that transition time where you can go from September weather and just jump right into December. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Yes. Have you been outside? Well, first of all, make sure your pets have a warm spot. Queen Reen says Happy Friday, and it's Pet Friendly Friday. I'll show your pet pictures. Just send them in using hashtag GMJ. But here we go. We're talking about 57 degrees here in Jacksonville, 52 in Brunswick. Temperatures 10 to 15 degrees cooler. Brr. Yes, find those jackets, dust them off, because this cool weather's here to stay more than just a few hours. We've got 69 today, so we'll still get some golfing in, right? Kinamero Bowtie Classic. We'll drop to a little bit on Saturday, 68 with a few more clouds, and I think it's the morning showers. The best chance of rain now a little earlier, so we'll show that on Futurecast coming up. And then on Sunday, yes, the warmest, brightest day of the weekend with a warmer high of 74 for our Jaguars. So the Jaguars trying to win 3 in a row for the first time since 2013. I think they can do it.
I think they can definitely do it.
Yes.
They're a pretty good team this year. All right, so let's take a look outside. And this is a look towards I-95. If you're headed up towards the airport, you can see the lights of the airport there in the distance. It looks just fine. I'm not seeing any problems for you. So that is some good news. Now, if you are in the Keystone Heights area, overnight around 11 o'clock last night, there was a crash involving a fatality. State Road 21 and County Road 352 there. We're hearing the northbound and southbound lanes are still blocked, and you're still seeing delays in that area. So just keep that in mind if you're traveling in Keystone Heights this morning. I-95 in St. Johns County, all things look good there. Not seen any problems, but if anything does come in, any other problems, construction issues, I'll be the first to let you know.
All right, thank you guys for that. It's now 13 minutes past the hour on this Friday morning, and just ahead on Good Morning Jacksonville, we continue our Greatest Generation series. You're going to meet 2 men who were among the first African Americans allowed to serve in the United States Marine Corps. We're back in just 2 minutes. And welcome back. The United States entered into World War II back in 1941. Allied forces went overseas fighting for democracy, formal equality, and rights and privileges for all citizens. Yet here at home, there was racial discrimination. More than 1.2 million African Americans served during that Second World War in all branches in segregated conditions. They were fighting 2 wars, one abroad and one right here at home. The efforts of those men and women led to the integration of the armed forces back in 1948. World War II paved the way for the civil rights movement in the 60s, a way paved in blood, pain, and sacrifice.
Jamal Davis, Dory Miller.
With canes in hand, adorned in uniforms earned, 2 men slowly recall World War II.
That's Patton, right? Got his pearl helmets.
A dark yet promising time, peering at an exhibit depicting their struggle. Men considered less than, fighting for democracy abroad, yet lacking the basics at home.
You remember Eugene Harris? He was on Saipan. He's supposed to have gotten the Silver Star for that.
Rows of photos, history to most, memories for them.
These are waves, eh? Remember the waves? Yeah. Here we go.
Their stroll is paused, fixed on a familiar face, one of their own, a Marine.
He was in the 51st. Well, you were in the 52nd.
Among the first African Americans allowed to become Marines, the plan to discharge men like George McIvory and Alpha Gaines after the war were foiled by the obvious. Their capabilities were put on display when finally allowed to prove themselves.
I dreamed all my youth that I wanted to be a warrior. I call myself King Collie. I call myself Collie Black Boy.
Yearning to become a part of something much bigger than himself, something at the time considered above his reach and race.
And I swore that I would be a Marine, but not knowing that I wasn't even allowed to wear that uniform at that time.
By 1943, Gaines' dream would become a frightening reality. He was among the approximately 20,000 black men trained in a segregated camp in Munford Point, North Carolina, subjected to rigid training in a swampy, wildlife-ridden forest area in the New River.
There were a tremendous number of African Americans who enlisted. They weren't drafted, they enlisted. They wanted to serve their country.
MOSH curator Paul Borsi explains during World War II, as African Americans fought abroad, there was a movement underway at home, which included the Double V campaign.
Victory abroad and victory at home.
On display, A. Philip Randolph and Eartha White, known for their activism in Jacksonville.
She's standing next to A. Philip Randolph in that Chicago meeting where they were talking about marching on Washington.
At the beginning of World War II, African Americans in the armed forces held support roles such as maintenance and transportation.
I know this guy here. He was from Jacksonville. He used to be my assistant scoutmaster at one time, but he was in the Red Tails. He was a pilot.
By the end of the war, more than 1 million African Americans were serving in the armed forces, taking on prominent roles. Pilots, tankers, medics, you name it.
Rising like the phoenix out of the ashes into a great society makes me feel that this is one of the greatest accomplishments that any human being could acquire.
Mr. Gaines and Mr. McIvory will both celebrate their birthdays on November 15th. They'll be 93 and 92 years old. Yes, they share the same birthday, and they've been best friends since grade school. Both men attended Stanton right here in Jacksonville. The Mosh exhibit you just saw in this story, recognizing the contributions and achievements of African Americans during the World War II, will be on display until December 31st if you want to go and check that out. Let's check it now with our storm expert, meteorologist Mike Franklin.
Yeah, we're having a bow tie session. It's very hard to explain how to tie a real bow tie. So Mike K, he gets an A+. He's trying his heart out to get the bow ties on for Ken and Mara on the Bow Tie Classic, and I feel bad that I'm not doing the best at helping. All right, so a blast of winter, an Arctic blast taking place is the big story. December temperatures here at home. So we take a look at current temperatures. We even have some upper 40s, low 50s to the west. Lake City, Waycross, 55. Keystone, Good Morning, Placa, 57. You may want to think twice before heading out the door without a jacket because we're running 10 to 15 degrees cooler, including Mayport, St. Simons, and Brunswick. But the weekend forecast is in, and it looks like a fall-like weekend and a little December in the air because we'll be in the mid to upper 60s the next 2 days. The best chance of rain, let's go over this. We know it's going to clear out on Sunday for the Jags, but we've got a nor'easter setting up, so dangerous rip currents and surf at the beach, maybe some surf of 6 to 8 feet as that nor'easter sets up, breezy with coastal showers. So for us, notice the best chance of rain would be Saturday morning. So for the Veterans Day parade here downtown, may want to bring an umbrella. There could be a shower or two. It's not going to be a drenching rain by any means. And then as we go through Sunday, warmer weather as that nor'easter finally relaxes, less wind for the Jags. But today it's all about jacket weather, cool breezes, northeast winds 10 to 20. 7-day forecast shows more fall weather in there after we briefly warm up for our Jaguars. Back down into the low 70s, even some 40s for lows by the middle of next week. So here's Katie Jeffries. Good to see you, Katie, in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you so much, Mike. Your time is 5:21. I hope you guys are having a great start to your morning. Let's talk about some of those drive times. So if you're traveling in on I-10, I'm not seeing any slowdowns here. I-10 eastbound from Baldwin all the way towards downtown. It's about a 14-minute ride. Let's take a live look outside towards I-95, just south of Bowden. Things there look very nice as well. Let's take a look towards your traffic maps. At least we're not seeing that layer of fog anymore, so that's pretty nice. All is clear on the west side. No reported problems on 17 or along Blanding there. If you are traveling, it looks like towards Yulee on 17. Looks a little slow on the southbound side. No reports of crashes or anything like that, but I am seeing a little bit of a slowdown here on 17. I-95, though, looks just fine. So does Highway 40. Back to you.
Katie, thank you. It's 5:22. The Jacksonville Jaguars, what a huge part of this city's identity. And we know this gentleman right here, of course, don't even have to say it, the owner. Well, a local artist now imprinting the Jaguars forever in downtown. How he is going to do it with that inspiration coming up. Welcome back to Good Morning Jacksonville. Your time is 5:25. If you're an artist and you love the Jaguars and you're an artist, the chances are football might just inspire your work. And because one local graffiti artist is pretty good, I mean really good at what he does, he was invited to showcase his work in the form of a mural downtown Jacksonville. It's getting a lot of attention as well. And First Coast News' Monica Garcia shares that story.
If you're a Jags fan, you probably know what owner Shad Khan looks like. But have you ever seen him like this? Painted in hues of jaguar teal by local artist Clay Minsner.
Like with his shirt and stuff, it's just completely freestyled.
The image based off of this photo.
Fun, loose, like kind of organic feel.
By photographer Logan Bowles, featured in Void magazine's Jaguar issue.
Let's see if I can roll with this.
It's Mr. Khan himself, looking at ease with a coconut drink in his hand. Perfect and a must For Clay's newest art gig at this downtown warehouse, an art in itself, smack in the middle of Tailgate Central.
But to me, it encompasses like downtown, what's been going on, and like with, you know, obviously the Jaguars and then Shad Khan, you know, just doing so much for the city. I was like, let's do him.
From then on, Clay focused on more likenesses, well liked in Jaguar Nation.
I was like, yeah, let's do Tom Coughlin since we just got him back for the VP. And I was like, but let's use him as as the coach that he was. And then it was Mark Brunell, and then it was Tony Baselli, and now it's Fred Taylor.
And hitting iconic Jacksonville Jaguar players. But it's not fully complete just yet. Jackson DeVille will soon go up.
Have any of the iconic people that are portrayed here reached out to you, seen it in reaction?
Not necessarily. I tagged Fred Taylor in it on Instagram, and he sent back. He just wrote back like, oh, it looks great. I can't wait to see it in person.
He's also hoping Shad Khan might stop by one random game day, maybe even with a floral drink in his hand.
So, a little bit of business and party at the same time.
But mostly he's hoping that fans will stroll on over. Monica Garcia, First Coast News on your side.
That is the ultimate business and party mural. It captured both.
It's impressive, that's
very
for sure.
good. I don't get it. I don't get how some people are so friggin' talented. Awesome. The warehouse is on the corner of Talleyrand and Duval Street and is open on game day if you want to go see that mural in person for yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to go check that out
Yes.
for sure. 28 minutes now past the hour on this Friday morning. Yes, Friday is here, and just ahead of Good Morning Jacksonville, we continue to honor our veterans, our heroes. You're going to see some of the most heartwarming homecoming videos from the First Coast. We're back in 2 minutes.
From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Hope you're having a good bow tie Friday so far. It is 5:30. In the city now, looking to purchase homes in a flood-prone area. The city just wants to buy them from residents, but residents, some of them at least, are not going down without a fight. Some believe the buyout is not about opportunity, but rather a $500 million project the city already has planned. All right, today, Ashley Rucker's family going to say their final goodbyes. She was killed just days before her 31st birthday. Her sister was wounded.
The services are set to begin at 10 this morning at George Howell and Sons Funeral Home. Police have arrested her ex-boyfriend, Chad Absher, and charged him with murder and attempted murder. And in other news on this Friday morning, today we honor those who have fought for our freedom. It's the day the nation observes Veterans Day. Now, throughout the morning, we're sharing different events going on around town and how local businesses are saying thank you. But first, you want to check on your weekend forecast with our storm expert, meteorologist Mike Frank.
Yeah, Bow Tie Friday in honor of Ken Amero's Bow Tie Classic and Northwest Behavioral Health Services, great tournament out there. That's today, and we've got a 10 out of 10 for golfing, running, but yeah, maybe put on the windbreaker out there. How about that change? Low 50s Waycross, mid to upper 50s Jacksonville. So this is about where we should be for this time of year, but we've been so warm. It's been like late summer and the never-ending summer. It is quite a shock without the jacket. In fact, we even have a little wind chill kicking up today. Notice those northeast winds 10 to 15. If you're along the coast, St. Augustine to Brunswick, Ponte Vedra, Michaelers, you could have some wind gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour. So the weekend, it's all about Veterans Day, honoring our veterans. We'll have that forecast coming up. But notice our graph showing the best chance of rain coming in maybe a little earlier this weekend that could impact the parade. We'll talk more about that coming up. But first, Katie Jeffries. Hey, great to see you, Katie, in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
You too, Mike. Good morning, everybody. Your time is 5:32, so let's get you out the door. Here's a look towards the Buckman Bridge. Camera's frozen. I swear those cars are moving, and that's a good sign. Let's take a look towards your traffic maps. No fog out there this morning, but of course, watching the conditions to see if any develops, but we'll keep you updated. If you're traveling on 95 northbound, it's hard to see because the traffic cameras are out here, but I'm still seeing this Main Street Bridge closure, so likely as you would pass Emerson, you're still going to see the right lane closure as well as the exit to the Main and the Acosta closed. But they're pretty good about opening that, so hopefully it'll reopen pretty soon. 6 a.m. would likely be the latest that would stay closed. Also in Keystone Heights, State Road 21 near County Road 352, there was a fatality there overnight. FHP is reporting northbound and southbound lanes in that area are still blocked. Keep up.
Thanks for that. And here's a heads up. Parents taking their kids to Fruit Cove Middle School will see an increased security presence this morning. Yesterday, a student posted a photo on social media threatening the school. First News' Monica Garcia joins us live right now in St. Johns County. Monica, at this point, what do we know about how school officials are reacting to all of this?
Well, I know it's a tight-knit community out here, and of course, parents send their kids to school and they expect them to be safe. Well, that's what the principal out here at Fruit Cove Middle School is saying, that your kids will be safe when you send them to school today. She says they found no credible threat to that post that was uploaded to Instagram. And they also say, just as a precaution, they're going to have extra law enforcement out here on this Friday morning while your kids go to school. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at that picture in question. So this was uploaded on Instagram last night. It's a photo of a gun as well as with ammo, and it contains the text, "Don't come to school TM," which just means tomorrow, so that's today. So the school says that they know the student that posted it, and they have spoken to the student as well as that student's parents. In the meantime, Principal Kelly Jacobson sent us this statement. In part, it reads, "No credible threat was discovered, and we're applying the proper consequences for this inappropriate post. In addition, as precautionary measure, tomorrow we will have additional law enforcement on campus in that area." She also takes the time to remind parents this is a good reminder in general just to talk to your kids about posting things on social media in a responsible way, as well as consequences if you post something bad just like this. Additionally, this is not the first time we've been out here at Fruit Cove Middle School this week. They've had a little bit of drama. It seems Monday night, the football team head coach as well as assistant head coach were forced to resign after they were accused of bullying the girls' soccer team out here. So this is just another thing that's happening here at Fruit Cove Middle School. But the good news in this case is the principal says that there's no credible threat to that social media post. From Fruit Cove Middle School, Monica Garcia, First Coast News, on your side.
I don't ever want to get a phone call one night, telling me my son died because he was texting and driving.
A parent's worst nightmare. A father in Orange Park encouraging parents to buy gloves for themselves and their kids to help prevent texting and driving. It's an action we see all the time, texting and driving, but he argues these gloves could actually help save lives. The CDC reports roughly 9 deaths and more than 1,000 injuries per day in the United States are because of distracted driving.
Quick check of your time now. It's 36 minutes past the hour on this Friday morning. Well, one of our own, a local veteran, is being honored in the state of Florida's Veterans Hall of Fame. Colonel Len Loving is a retired Marine who runs the 5-star Veterans Center right here in Jacksonville, helping to get vets back on their feet. The Veterans Hall of Fame is a big honor that recognizes military men and women who have made a significant contribution to the state. Colonel Len Loving has dedicated his life's work to giving back to vets. In 1986, he established the Marine Corps Blunt Island Command. In 2011, he opened 5-Star, which provides food, housing, and mental health services to homeless veterans. During his time in the Corps, the colonel has earned a number of military decorations. He will be inducted into the State of Florida Veterans Hall of Fame in a private ceremony at the Governor's Mansion on November 27th. Congratulations, Colonel Loving, and thank you for all that you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Time is 5:36. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi is heading to the West Coast today to talk about the Republicans' tax plan now. Democratic leader is joining Congresswoman Barbara Lee, Bay Area advocates there, and middle-class Americans, she says, for a news conference in San Francisco about what they are calling the negative impacts of the GOP tax plan and the cuts. Pelosi has been quoted as calling the latest tax plan a tax scam. During Thursday night football, All-Pro cornerback Richard Sherman injured his Achilles and will likely miss the rest of the Seahawks season. It happened on this play. Take a look. You see the fall there as he's going to make a tackle. Sherman stayed on the ground while the trainers attended to the injury, and after the game he said he expects to undergo surgery now in the next few days. Yikes, that Achilles. Something that'll linger too. All right, Star Wars fans really excited this morning, thinking about what's coming up, a brand new trilogy, another trilogy. How many are there going to be? Lucasfilm says the guy behind it's Rian Johnson, the writer-director of next month's Star Wars, The Last Jedi. He's going to be in charge of doing the next trilogy. And got a lot of faith in this movie, too, since they're basically anointing him the next George Lucas. even better than J.J. Abrams, perhaps. No word on what the new trilogy is going to be about even, but I'm thinking it's going to be about war in the stars. That's just my guess. All right, it was Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick. What game am I talking about? You know it. If that scenario rings a bell, you have played the game Clue. I was never good. I was actually terrible at this game, the worst. But the board game is one of 3 toys added today to the National Toy Hall of Fame at the Strong Museum in New York, which, by the way, is an awesome museum. If you've never been, Rochester, New York is beautiful. All right, the other 2 toys, which kind of is the paper airplane, which does that qualify as a toy? I mean, I think if you can just do it yourself. And then also the wiffle ball, classic, right? Other notable toys already in the Hall of Fame, Barbie, the hula hoop twister, and Mr. Potato Head. Keitha?
Thanks for that, Lou. 39 minutes now past the hour and just ahead. It's just like the art walk, but with literature. We're going to fill you in about this fun and creative event when GMJ returns in 2 minutes. And welcome back. Your time now is 5:41. So Jacksonville's literary side is on display this weekend at the annual Jacks by Jacks Festival. The Literary Arts Festival features 28 local writers reading their work at 14 different venues all around the intersection of Park and King Streets in Riverside. The event is designed to resemble an art walk where participants are encouraged to just wander around and explore. Each reading lasts about 15 minutes and writers rotate at each different venue. Tim Gilmore, professor of literature at FSCJ and founder of this event, says it's designed to introduce Jacksonville to a cultural asset that they may not typically see or celebrate.
There's a number of really talented, fascinating writers who are working here and whose work is known elsewhere. And I really think that, you know, the city itself, outside of the literary community, you know, should listen and should know that. And I think they could know it a little bit more. You know, that's part of what Jacks by Jacks is about, is introducing the city to its literary voice.
Jacks by Jacks is this Saturday, November 11th, tomorrow, and you can find a link to the schedule and where all the writers will be on our website right now, firstcoastnews.com.
That sounds like fun.
It does, and a fun weekend ahead, Katie, and a big change this morning. It's hard to believe we went from heat index this week to 90s to lows by tomorrow morning near 50.
I know. I let the dogs out this morning, opened that door, and felt that cold chill.
Yeah, my dogs get real frisky in this weather, so BJ and Bungie are jumping all around, and as we take a look at why, well, we're back to where we should be this time of year. 57 degrees Jacksonville to St. Augustine, but keep in mind, before the weekend's out, we have a bigger chill coming in with another front later today, so the wind's going to pick up and feel even chillier by late tonight and tomorrow. So the big event, of course, we're honoring our veterans downtown. And I didn't like to do this, but I'm just the messenger. We had to put in a shower. So not a soaker, but you know, I don't want anybody left in the rain tomorrow. So brief showers possible for the parade. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s and that wind making it feel much cooler. So we'll not let that put a damper on the parade and our veterans. And we take a look at the weekend as a whole. European model and the American model just showing about 1/10 of an inch of rain. So that's not very much. But if you look at the graph, it does peak out Saturday morning, then just flattens out. So that is some good news. We will dry out starting Saturday afternoon, and that includes the Jags and Chargers. And I have some sunshine and teal, a temperature of 75 degrees for the highest rated defense since Ray Lewis's Baltimore Ravens back in 2008, Katie.
I do love watching our defense. They're really incredible out there. So go Jags. For this weekend, let's take a look out here towards 295 near Beach Boulevard. Things there moving without any problems, so that is great to see as well. Overall, it's been a pretty good start to the morning, at least for the first time since Monday. We're not seeing fog out there on our radars. So Atlantic Beach, JTB, if you're driving in from the beaches, I'm not seeing any problems. All of your routes there look good. I-10 from Lake City all the way towards the Jacksonville area, no accidents there, and it's not shaded in yellow, so that means there's no fog out there at the moment. But of course, if anything changes, anything develops, Mike and I are here to help.
From Afghanistan.
Wow, those are the moments people wait for months, sometimes years. I'll just warn you now, get your Kleenex ready because I have one of those videos for you coming up in just 2 minutes. You know, there is something about those videos. You see love, you see the moment, but if you look closely, you see something that can never be copied, the sacrifice. All morning long, we're honoring our veterans, and thanks for all that you've done, thanks for all that you do, and thanks for all that you'll continue to do for our country. Today, I invite you to send me your heartfelt photos and videos. You can always tweet me at Brooks Baptiste using that hashtag GMJ. And I also want to give you a quick reminder, don't forget, several businesses are honoring veterans this weekend by offering discounts and freebies tomorrow. We have a full list for you right now on our website at firstcoastnews.com. Let's send things over to meteorologist Mike Brantley. Good morning, Mike.
Veterans Day forecast, and yeah, there could be a quick shower in the morning. That's our best chance of rain. A few isolated showers. Otherwise, yeah, nothing to dampen our spirits. And for Veterans Day, big story, low to mid 60s. Take the jackets and honor our heroes. All right, so we take a look at this morning. The big story is the big change, and my goodness, we're talking about waking up in the 50s. We go right to the weekend. Here's what you need to know. All right, we're talking about 69 for our high on our Friday. And notice as we go through Saturday morning, a few showers as a nor'easter whips up, wind gusts of 15 to 25 miles per hour. So morning showers taper in the afternoon, 68 degrees. For our Sunday, yes, the nor'easter relaxes. All right, so as that wind lets up, we're not going to have that moist flow anymore. So any rain should pretty much be out of here. I've lowered rain chances back to 20%. It will turn warmer for the game with that east-northeast wind at 10 to 15. So 74 degrees for our Jaguars. Should be a great game day. The 7-day forecast calling for more fine fall weather as we head into next week. In fact, on that 7-day forecast, I've got more low to mid 70s. Doesn't get any better than that with those rain chances staying on the low side. So plenty of sunshine, and check out those 40s for lows. So we'll keep those jackets out around, especially for the morning hours for the next several days into next week. Now let's get to Katie Jeffries in the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you so much, Mike. Your time is 5:50 out there this morning. I hope you guys are having a great Friday morning. Let's take a look here towards I-95. If you're traveling northbound from 210 all the way towards downtown, it's about a 20-minute ride, and that's exactly what we expect for this time of the morning. So that's always a good sign. Let's take a live look outside. This is I-95 near 207, and it looks pretty good there. You're not seeing any problems, any slowdowns, so I love to be able to report that traffic a little bit lighter today. As we take a look around the area, let's move in towards the Dames Point Bridge. No reported problems, issues, or even fog this morning. About 12 minutes to go from Atlantic Boulevard across the Dames towards I-95. Now, if you are traveling maybe along I-95 in Georgia, great news for you guys as well. From Brunswick all the way towards Jacksonville, no reported problems along I-95. And I'm seeing a lot of green out there, so people are moving up to speed. And that is always a great sign on a Friday. Lewis.
Katie, thank you. It is a lightning bolt versus a jungle cat coming up this weekend. Mike K?
Lou Turner, Gus Bradley's coming to town. We'll have everything you need to know about Sunday's game when we come back.
All right, welcome back. Let's talk Jags. We got our beat writer, Mike K, with us this morning. And a programming note, the bow tie for Ken Amero's Bow Tie Classic. So you can see all the dudes in it, and that's good. I haven't worn a bow tie since Francis took my bike. I had to go to Texas to find it at the Alamo. So big win. Is the offense back? I mean, can we say, hey, this Jags team's not just a big defense?
Well, I think after 2 weeks, you know, it's time to start thinking, hey, maybe Blake Bortles has this under control. He's playing pretty well. You know, some people have even speculated that he might be back next year. I'm one of those people. I think that he has played well enough that if he continues on this pace, he might be around for a while.
Quick side note: what happens when you punt a ball into the state? They score a touchdown, they punt a ball. Is there a fine or anything, or can you?
You have to pay for the ball.
Okay,
so
because everybody's punting balls into things now. All right, so Bortles. I mean, listen. We've had a few years of experience with Bortles. Now he's got the team at what, 6-3, 5-3. Excuse me. Could be 6-3 after they play the Chargers. What's it going to take to beat a Chargers team that over the last 7 years just doesn't have any mercy on the Jags?
Yeah, the Chargers have beaten them 6 straight times. They have the best pass rushing duo in the league in Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. They both have 8.5 sacks each. They're going to have to, you know, rely on Blake's mobility. He's going to have to get out of the pocket, make some throws to Marquise Lee, make some throws to Mercedes Lewis, Allen Hurns, all those guys. He's also going to have to watch out for his mistakes because this defense, this Chargers defense, will take advantage.
But, you know, considering years past and the beating I think Blake has taken and the offensive line has taken, it's a team that's given up, the second fewest sacks in the NFL. So they're not giving up sacks, or at least Blake hasn't taken that many.
Right.
So, and now you're going to see these two guys who can get the sack. Talk about Phillip Rivers as a quarterback. Is he going to be able to pick apart the Jags like he has, at least in like the 6-7 years past?
No.
Not happening.
So to put it in perspective, he's had 4 touchdowns in both of the last 2 meetings. The Jaguars have only allowed 4 passing touchdowns all season. He's not going to be able to score on them like he has in the past. This defensive secondary is fantastic. The pass rush is much more improved since Gus Bradley, their new defensive coordinator, left town.
Mm-hmm.
Gus Bradley, I mean, he's a guy, if you can't beat him, join him. He joined the Chargers. He's hoping to get a win for the Chargers this week.
It'll be interesting to see how the guys react to having Gus back in town. Nicest guy in the world, just couldn't win a ball game at Everbank, and I think that's what it boils down to. Mike K., what are you working on? What can we find online?
Well, we are looking at how the players reacted to Gus's firing last year, how they feel about him now, and how Todd Wash, the defensive coordinator who worked with him forever, is doing since Gus left town.
Great stuff. We'll see you in an hour. In the meantime, go check out his work at Mike_E_K on Twitter, and also firstcoastnews.com on the sports section. Thank you, Mike. Back to you.
All right, thanks you guys for that. So here's your college football lineup for this weekend. Check this out. The Gators are taking on the Gamecocks up in South Carolina. Yes, lose Gamecocks. Hopefully they'll get beat by the Gators. I'm hoping for it. Folks say otherwise, but I'm hoping for it. Kickoff is at noon, and Florida State is playing at Clemson. That game is set for 3:30.
And third-ranked Notre Dame going to go to Coral Gables and play against the Canes. Miami, man, it is a fantastic revisit of the Catholics and the Convicts. Saturday night, you can watch it right here on ABC 25 or Comcast 432 if that's your thing. Kickoff, 8 p.m. It is going to be frothy.
All right, thanks for that. 58 minutes now past the hour. So 10 years ago, the Jacksonville Humane Society's building, it just burned down. And today, the new building will officially open up. Yes, Curtis Dvorak is joining us live on the South Side at 6 o'clock with a sneak peek inside. We're back in 2 minutes.